As Tobin leads me out of the kitchens, I can't help but smile as I let him take my arm again. I don't know what else you have to show me, but I think it's going to be pretty hard to top one of the most epic food fights of my entire life, I tell him. He grins down at me. Oh, you'll see. He seems to know where he's going, and I let him lead me out onto a foyer as we head outside. There's a small stone deck leading into a dimly lit hedge maze garden, similar to the one outside the east wing of Ravane Cottage. We can just faintly hear the music playing from inside, but there were barely any lights to make out anything in the darkness. It's really dark out here, I say as I glance around us. Which makes it even better to catch the Shvet, he replies. The Shvet? I ask blankly. He looks around and suddenly darts forward with a few quick steps as he catches something in his hands. He returns to me slowly, holding something clasped between his fingers. He gestures for me to lean in close, and he slowly pulls his top hand away to reveal a small, glowing beetle. Oh, it's like a firefly, I tell him as I look up at him. I used to catch these at home with my parents as a kid. I've never heard of a firefly, he replies. This is a Shvet. They live in the other world, but it's possible that the species has mutated and continues to live on in your part of the world. So, how do you catch them? I ask as my eyes hunt around the darkness. Every now and then, I think I can catch a flicker of light, but it escapes my vision almost immediately. It almost seems like a trick of the light. How could my reflexes be fast enough to catch something that seemed to come and go so quickly? The trick is to predict where they're going to be, not where they are, he explains. Try it. I survey the area around me before I suddenly see a flicker of light. I lunge towards it quickly, holding both hands out in front of me. I make a blind grab at something, only to look down and find nothing but air sitting in my palms. Oh well, I say with a sigh. I think I'm out of practice. You would probably have more luck if you hadn't been drinking, Tobin teases, and I just roll my eyes. Very well then, I reply as I turn back to go back inside. I'm just going to go back to Beige and... Wait. He puts out his hand to stop me. The problem is that you're looking with your eyes. The light shows you where they were, not where they are. By the time you see the light, they're already gone. I pause as I consider this. Then how do you catch them? Close your eyes, he says, and I do, feeling quite foolish. I can feel him come around to stand behind me as he places both hands around my wrists. He is standing so close to me, his front pressed against my back, and I can feel myself blushing in the chilly night air. Tobin, Close your eyes and focus, he tells me, and I let out a sigh before I do as I'm told. Tell me, do you sense any near you? I try to open myself up to the world around me when suddenly I feel things moving through the air around me. I can't see the trails that the Shvet are leaving in the air, but I can sense them, dancing and twirling through the night like a leaf caught in an autumn current. There's one just to my left, I tell him. It zoomed up from behind us. Very good, Tobin replies. Now, we're just going to step, and then you're going to catch it. Okay. It's a bit awkward stepping forward with him behind me, but I take 2 slow steps forward, giving him time to move in pace with me before he guides my hands forward. I gently close my palms together and immediately feel the tickling sensation of the Shvet as it crawls around my palm. I think I got it, I say in a hushed, excited whisper, and Tobin releases my hands as I turn around to face him. Slowly, I uncover my hand as I look down at the beetle in my palm. It's not long and skinny like a firefly. It's fat and round like a ladybug. I watch it for a moment, and as it clicks its 2 front feelers together, its back suddenly starts to glow with an amber light. I hold it up close to my face, trying to determine if the light was coming from the wings or the body, when it suddenly jumps and flies into my face before flittering away. Ugh! I cry as I jerk my head away, and Tobin just lets out a laugh. Careful now, he warns me. They do bite. Oh, now you tell me, I say as I reach my hands up to cover my nose. I didn't feel it bite me, but I could only imagine what Hieronymous and Bedge would say if I returned to them with a swollen, bulbous red nose. I don't think I want to catch them if they bite. Maybe they don't actually like being caught. Tobin just shrugs. As you wish, Lady Grabiner. Tori, I remind him as I grin up at him. So what else do you want to do? He seems to pause and think about this for a moment. Come and catch me, he says as he suddenly takes off and runs into the maze, and I give a small start of surprise before I rush in after him. It's hard to see where I'm going, and I make blind rights and lefts, trying to keep up. I had been fast before, but apparently I was very out of practice. Tobin quickly pulls away from me, and no matter how hard I try, I can't catch up with him. I continue to make my way through the maze, but now I can't even hear his footfalls on the cobblestone path. I pause for a moment, placing my hands on my knees as I suck air in and out of my lungs. Aside from my labored breathing, the air around me is quiet and still, and I stand back up as I brush the hair out of my face. Tobin? I call out. Silence. Tobin, where are you? Silence. I frown and put my hands on my hips. So not funny. Seriously, where are you? Only silence greets my ears, and I look hesitantly around me in the darkness. I was finally beginning to sober up, and suddenly I realized that I was alone, in the other world, in a very dimly lit garden, at night, and no one knew where I was. Maybe this castle was just as protected as Ravane Cottage was, but I didn't know anything for sure, and who knew what strange otherworld creatures might be lurking in the shadows. Okay, well, I hope you have fun out here, I call into the darkness. I'm headed back. I turn to leave when suddenly someone pushes me back into the hedge wall behind me. I feel my back strike against the dense foliage when I'm suddenly overwhelmed by the sensation of Tobin's body hovering over mine. Thinking it's a prank, I quickly push him away at the shoulders. Ha ha, very funny, Tobin. You scared me. Now, let's go back. Not just yet, he replies softly. He pushes his chest against mine, his hands trailing down the sides of my body as he leans forward to kiss me. I try to step back, try to pull away, but I find myself pressed up against the hedge wall with nowhere to go. No. Oh no.